So insyaAllah
nak go live tu nanti tekan yang bentuk yang on air tu
I've
on nanti
we're
kalau
live now insyaAllah.
Huh?
We are live now insyaAllah.
Oh, we are live now. Okay. Sorry.
No, it's all good. We have four attendees, so kita usually wait 5 minutes lah before we start.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Can everybody hear me? If you guys can you guys say something in the chat box? I guess everybody can hear me. All right. So Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurjana binti Zainal. I'm currently one of the doctors living in Queensland, Townsville. Welcome to our final talk in the Fearless Woman edition of our Creative Leadership series, brought to you by Ikram Australia. Okay. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. Let me introduce to you our special guest today, Dr. Roshaslina Rosli, a woman of many great achievements, mashallah, a wife, a mother of one, who has a PhD in medicine. And I think one of her most notable achievements is that she is also a CEO of the Act for Health Service and Consultation, Senjam Berhad. So good morning, Dr. Roshaslina. Thank you so much for being with us today. I think I think one of the most notable things that we're going to talk about today is how you are a avid climber. Apparently, I have clarified she has climbed 22 mountains, but actually there is more than that she's done. So 22 is just a modest number for Dr. Roshaslina, sorry. And that she will discuss with us today about what is it, Dr. Roshaslina? Gender stereotyping, isn't it? Gender stereotyping in doing activities like mountain climbing and challenges that you've has faced doing this sort of activities, kan, Dr. Hasina? So I would like to invite her, inshallah, to do a bit more, introduction herself, as well as to start the talk today. Feel free to ask questions in the chat box, but inshallah we will answer those questions at the end of the session. Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Dr. Hasina.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Dr. Roshaslina. I think can you double check your mic? Is it muted or?
Oh, okay, I'm so sorry. So
Yeah,
can
that's
you hear
okay.
me?
Oh, good.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Assalamualaikum and very good morning to everyone. Thank you for being here. Actually, I'm pretty excited and kind of nervous as well. So, as you can see, the title is How I Managed to Climb 22 Peaks. But what actually I want to share with you today is more on the value of throughout my journey on climbing this 22 peaks. So, disclaimer before I start with all the sharing sessions, I want to say that I am not the best person to talk about this because I believe there are tons of fearless women that I know out there. Even I think maybe some of them are our participants today. But I'm thankful being given with this opportunity because I believe that everybody has their own stories that worth to share. You know. So, as the last speaker for this webinar Creative Leadership Series, my sharing today is that I hope to empower and to inspire all the youth leaders out there, even if you are a leader in an organization or even a leader as a leader of yourself. Okay, and together also I hope that this may inspire you to become optimistic and positive in dealing with your life. Throughout the sessions, I hope that I'm not gonna just talking alone because I want you to engage as well by answering some of the questions that I might ask. Where I'm gonna use is Slido.com, which is this add-on apps which I found very fun, and I was influenced by my husband to use it a lot. So yeah, because I don't want to talk alone throughout the session, please join me and answer the question. Okay. So here, this is all the peaks that I've conquered. I think that it can be kind of my profile if I make it in this graph. But what I want to show you here is that you can see how the elevation is going up to the highest peak. And I just want to point it out that even though the highest is different, and like for example, like this one is the Mount Rinjani is the highest mountain, but it doesn't mean that it is the toughest mountain. So maybe you can reflect this as well in your life. Okay, so now, like I said, I want you to join to this session. I want you to answer to what are adventurous things that you have done. For example, like hiking, towering, diving, or any kind of things that you find it adventure for you. By if you joined it using your phone, you can just scan this QR code and it will go to link to the straight to this question. Or if you use a browser, you can just type in slido.com and you can enter this code, which is hashtag M467. Then you might answer this. So I think I can just give you a few minutes, maybe about 2 minutes for you to answer. Come on, guys. Oh, thank God, I'm not alone here today. Hiking and swimming in the river. Korga. Okay, hiking. But why there's a question mark there? Yeah, give you about half a minute. Wow, solo backpacking Sabah. It is very adventurous being solo. Traveling alone to 2 continents within a week. Wow, I would love to know what the continents that you have traveled to, and it's within a week. Hiking, snorkeling, caving. Okay, thank you so much for all the participation for this question. Now I think I just go straight to the sharing. I don't want the slide to wait. So there's another one. Hiking and snorkeling. Wow, there's a lot of water activities. So now, shall we just start? So throughout the session, I will keep on showing you the outline of the sharing session so that you won't feel lost or you can keep track on what I'm sharing today. Okay? Abang, cepat sini nama. Okay, so the first one is how did it begin? Okay? So now, how did it begin? We try to look at this picture. Okay? I think I barely can remember that time. I think I'm about 5 or 6 years old, where I saw my late father grab this bulky camera. You know, at the 90s, we have all these bulky cameras that you can travel around. And he just asked me, Jom, ikut abah pergi Lombong. So I hope you know what Lombong is. So when what the result from the when I go with him to the Lombong is this picture. It's one of this picture. Okay, you can see in this picture, and you can imagine that how scared I was when he was about, I think, about 150 meters or about 200 meters away from me, just to snap this picture. Okay, and when I look back this picture at my middle 20s, and at that time was together with all my friends, and then they were just laughing, and at the same time I also confused, and I was asking myself, but you can see, look how tiny I was, and I'm not even the main subject in this picture. So, but the good thing is when I look back to this picture, where recently Facebook asked me to view back my memory, and it was that picture, I started to flash back all the adventurous moments with my dad. So perhaps I think, you know, this is how it starts. because I remember all the adventures that I have with my dad. Like for example, you can see in this picture that where I go explore the Perak Tong cave. It's a cave with temple situated in Ipoh, and I also go to do some caving near the mine area together with my brothers. Oh, by the way, I'm the only girl in my sibling. So you can imagine how adventurous all the activities that I've done with my brothers. Okay, and also when we go back to our hometown at Alopong Supera, my father usually will ask us to join him to go for jungle trekking, just for to hunting for termite queen. Okay, I hope you know what a termite queen is. Permaisuri anak-anak, so you have to look for busuk to look for this termite. So all of this moment that I have with my dad is that I found that it is actually why the joyful feeling that being in the nature is actually a flashback moment of my adventurous childhood that I have with my dad. So yeah, I guess that's how it starts because I love being in nature. Now we go to the second outline, which is the historical peak. I say it's a has as the historical peak because it is a first trip and it was at Mount Song Kelantan. Um, it is a historical date for me and also to the rest of the world. Okay, believe me, it's true when I say I'm not exaggerating on that because on the first day of our trip, it is where the MH370 was reported to be disappeared. Okay, and it was on 8 March 2014. Well, I still can remember during our first day of trip, I can hear a loud sound of something flying above our head at that time. But I'm so excited at that time and try to engage and just try to have the time of my life during that trip. So I doesn't bother at all about that sound. But at the moment when we come back from our trip, then there's a big news. So after that, after having all of this excitement, I just start to return back to the normal routine. So I was like craving for more. Like I want more. So I was keep looking around because I'm investing a lot for the first trip. I bought a hiking bag, so I don't want to just to buy this hiking bag just for the sake of one trip. So I'm keep looking around, and then until I found my second trip. So this second trip which is an important phase of the continuation of how I managed to climb this 22 peaks. That's how it goes to Beyond Adventure with Horizon. Okay. So this is where all the adventure begins. My second trip is to DBL. It's the Jemerung Bumbung Langse at Terengganu. It's a trip that organized by GEMA Horizon, which is formerly known as GEMA Selangor Backpackers. So as you can see in this picture, the most famous waterfall there is the Jemerung waterfall. With height of 305 meters, and it is a majestic view, believe me. So as a newbie, being there, I really amazed with all of the views that we try to. When I look at the waterfall, I look at the clear river and all the setting like the bonsai, pokok bonsai and everything. It's like in a bunian kind of place. I'm so excited, and I feel like wow. I'll keep on saying Subhanallah, MashaAllah. I think that's something that I never seen before. So I am strongly influenced by this trip. But actually, when I think back, what makes it so influenced with this trip is not because of the, all these beautiful sceneries, all the mesmerizing in it, but I just feel like there's something about them, there's something about Horizon, which makes me curious, and I feel like I want to know more about that. So I thank you to Kak Sarah if she's here today, I want to thank her because she is the person who brought me to Horizon. So she's the one that allowed me to know more about this people. Okay, because when I know Horizon, that I know that there are something more. Because at the beginning phase, that when I try to find for the answer, I tried to see what made them unique. So then I found that there is a uniqueness among them. Because GEMA Horizon is formerly known as JSP. So if you can see here, I show you a logo there that before it's a GEMA Selangor Backpackers, and there's some I don't know what is it, macam terkoyak like that to show the reveal, the rebranding of the Horizon. And they are a non-profit youth organization that is now it's one of the patient cluster under Pemuda GEMA. And what makes them different from others? Because they have a reasonable fee. The fees is too cheap. Maybe because they are a non-profit organization. And also, they practice solat jemaah. That's what at that time really made me feel like, wow, this is a good person. You know, a good atmosphere. And the other thing is that I found that actually they are prioritized ladies. So when I say prioritized ladies, it's because if every time when they have a trip, they will provide a tent special for ladies. You know, because ladies need extra protection than guys. And I said they prioritize ladies because while we are sleeping comfortably in the tent, the guy, they are just sleeping under the fly sheet. You know, the fly that they will type in the trees and all that. And they sleep on the ground sheet. So you can see how they prioritize us ladies. And also, if there's extra time or if there's when everybody is calm, just resting, so they will have a short sharing, which is I think is very interesting because it is just a short sharing, you know, just for a moment of reflection, just a short reminder for you to remind yourself and think about your creator while you're doing activities. That's very interesting. And so here I want to share that because Horizon, they are very active. They are actively organizing trips and events. But disclaimer, this is before the pandemic happened, yeah. So Alhamdulillah, we managed to do all of these activities. And the activities which is beyond adventure by Horizon is from hiking to rock climbing, wall climbing, treasure hunt, caving. We also do standard sotong and also doing a knowledge sharing when if there is a big trip or event that's going to happen, we're going to do a knowledge sharing so that participants can prepare themselves for the trip. And also we have food gather. So if you don't know what is food gathering, it is actually activities where an event where we do all this bombastic menu for the participants in the jungle or near the waterfall. And at the same time also, we do activities like for the group activities just to make it more interesting. That is Foodgasm about. And other than that, we also organize water excelling, um, water rafting, and not only uh, all the activities, the outdoor activities for youth, but also we try to spread the positivity by organizing an event that try to what we call it Chatna Ummah, you know, like for Palestine, Syria, Rohingya, and also we try to attend our local anak-anak yatim as well. So by being present in all of these moments created with Horizon, it is beyond adventure. Now we go to the big why. Okay, so all of you, if you want to stay long in something that what you do is something that you like, you have a big why is extremely important because your big why will become the strongest reason of why you are staying in one position. and why you want to stay contribute to it. Because for me, I know Horizon at the age of 26. At that age, I can say I have enough money, I have time because I'm single at that time, and I'm blessed with good health. So in the beginning, I thought when I joined hiking, it's just for fun, just to socializing, to occupy myself with activities. During Darah Muda, like you want to try to achieve anything that you want to try something new. You want to create new achievements. But since I joined Horizon, I realized that actually what I want is more than that. Okay, I start to realize this because um, after we complete our 3 6 project, it is a project that, if you can see in the picture, it's a project of where we're putting hadith and dalil plates, where we will tie it at the campsite or under the signage of the checkpoint. For people, when they're passing by, they can see all of this hadith and dalil. It involves 3 states, which is Irau, Berembun, and Bincang. And all of this is at Cameron. So all of these 3 mountains that we try to go, and if you can see here, there's a public figure who actually posts in her IG about our plate. Okay, that is actually at the moment I feel like, oh, somebody reached what we want to do. I mean, what we try to say. Somebody get the benefit of what we want to do. So I so by after I completed this project, and being involved in this project personally, it gave a big impact on me on how I'm looking at the options of pathway that God has provided for me. Because I always pray to God to grant me a good circle, and this good circle tell me that I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So what I mean here that, because I know deep inside my heart I want to become a better person, I want to contribute, and of course I want to have fun. I just want to have the time of my life. So by having a horizon to provide me a platform that I can having fun while making a good deed, so that's a win-win situation, right? So I guess this is my biggest why, the strongest reason why I choose to stay in Horizon. And maybe I think you also need to look for an answer for your this big why in your life. Okay, so I just now want to take a break by asking you the next question. I hope that you can can scan the QR codes or by entering the hashtag M467 to the slido.com browser and answer who is your strongest support in your life. Okay? It can be your cat, because cat gives a very positive vibe, or it can be your phone or your device because they really support you in your life activity. So now, oh, mm, my fan bam. Am I too old that I don't know what is fan bang? It's okay. We wait for another. Mama or I give you 1 minute to please share who is your strongest support in your life. People I love. Family. Happy circle, yes. You are with me. People who love me. Okay. Is that the same person who asked for this? People who love me, people I love, you know. Okay, just give another 20 seconds. Come on, type in. The strongest support in your life. Oops. I think I know who this naughty person. Okay. I guess that's the answers that I'm looking for. Dr. Nina. Okay. Now, since you are sharing who is your strongest support in your life, it's time for me to share mine. Okay. For me, I look at my big why as a roof, a roof with a beam. So I can't have my roof if I don't have a strong pillar to support. So I make them as a pillar because my first pillar is my parents, who is my mom and my late dad. Okay, my mom and my late dad, who they are never forgot to always pray for me and always just wanted for my safety. I once remember that I asked my mom whether, Mom, Mama okay ke? Nak pergi hiking semua ni. And then my mom just said, nak buat macam mana dah minat. Mama redha je lah. So, when she said that she redha, I feel like, oh, okay, this is some big responsible that I need to ensure that I won't let them to be worried about me when I go for trip. And most of the time, they just let me during the public holiday when all the other kids are going back to their hometown to visit their parents. But they just allow me to go any trip that I want. I think that kind of sacrifice of their emotion as well, you know. And I still remember there's one time when I told my mom that I want to join this G7 mountain trip. Okay, when I say G7 means it's a mountain that with the altitude that higher than 7,000 feet. So this G7 mountain in Perak, I want to join it during the monsoon season. So the monsoon season is usually very synonym with with heavy rain. It may cause all the river water levels to increase, and it may cause some problem or something that you not expected. So my mom remind me to say that you better to have extra ration because you never know. That's true. I always have extra ration with me because I never know just in case. So that's how I feel like they are the strongest pillars in my roof. And the second strong pillars that I want to say that here is my husband because he is a strong pillar who I really can pass all my heavy loading. You know, what is that you have a strong man if you're not using it, right? So, yeah, he just has a strong support system for me. Even before we married, he when he came to my life, he really do something that I never expected before, which is something that I found it very sweet. Then my third pillar is my friends, who, when I said friends, is including all my hiking friends as well. But here I want to emphasize on my colleague because when I actively involved with Horizon, I am working. So that's one of my colleague where she herself always offer me to say that she want to cover for my work. How sweet she is. And sometimes she will ask me in the weekend, hey, you not go for any trip? You know, how kind she is. And then also to my ex-roommate, which is Lila. I'm so thankful to have her as my roommate because she always take care of my pet, which is my cat named Chimba. She always take care of my cat when I'm away, and that really gives me an ease in my heart because I know that she's in a good hand. Because and surprisingly, she's alert with my physical calendar. You know, when I say physical calendar, I mean that a flip calendar where I will do a drawing and put the details of the trip that I will go. So she keeps track on it. And there's one day when my mom called me and told me that that she called her just to ask for me because she thought that I supposed to go back to my house a day before. So maybe she thought I was lost or something happened to me. And that is the day where I feel that wow, she is actually really care about me. So that's why I think she is worth to be mentioned here. And the last pillar for my roof and my big why is horizon. Okay, because by being an awesome member, who a person, all of them always walk the talk and always offer help for me if I need it. True that they really offer me beyond upah or beyond friendship that I've ever imagined. So by having all of these pillars in my life, I feel really blessed and I'm appreciated what every single thing that has done for me because sometimes I feel maybe I didn't mention it enough to them how thankful I was. Maybe I didn't mention enough to thank to my parents, my husband, to my friends, and to Horizon. But so that's why I want to take this opportunity to thank them and hope that may Allah recompensate them with the goodness as well. Okay, now this is entering some dramatic phase where I start to questioning my big why. Okay, I want you to ask yourself that is it flattery or is it a positive thing when someone or when other people are overestimate you? And I also want to ask you whether is it insulting or is it a negative thing when other people underestimate you? What makes it worse is that actually you yourself is the one who underestimate yourself. Okay, so I was in this dilemma. So let me share you with the situation that start to make me questioning my big why. Okay, so this is the trip, Trans-Tahan, Semerapur Kuala trip. Uh, so this is as a normal trip is take for 7 days, 6 nights, but we've done it for 5 days and 4 nights. So we call it as a compressed trip. Yep. So for this trip, I experiencing mental breakdown. Well, it's the post-mental breakdown. It's after the trip where I just lock myself in the room. I do nothing except for the basic necessities thing. Yeah. I just stay in my room. I do nothing. I just stare at the wall for 2 days. Okay, for 2 days. I was like, my thought was in chaos. There's a mixed feelings of the extraordinary feelings of level of exhaustion, sad, pain, and angry at the same time, all like mixed up together. So I don't know what is this. I don't know what is this feeling. So because I think that what happened to me is that when I try to think and try to put together why I feel this, the things that I only can remember is the event that happened during the trip. That's where I I was trusted by my team members to carry extra load. So I'm carried a heavier load that which is getting heavier day by day until the end of the trip, where I need to walk and hike for extra pace for an extra mile, where I was almost attacked by wild elephants. And what makes me more feel kind of leaving some dilemma to me is that because I need to face, I need to cross lots of river. Because to be honest, that water is actually what I'm afraid of. I become anxious when I'm in the water. So I need to cross, I think, a number of river, about less like that. I can't remember how many was it. I don't want to remember. So all of this combination of events, it just leads me to push myself to the limit, which I've never been before. So that is why I do nothing and just stay in my room for 2 days. I don't know what I'm thinking. But after that 2 days, I'm thankful and I really appreciate to my fiance, which is now my husband, where he shared to me this ayah, which is apakah kamu mengira bahawa mereka akan dibiarkan mengatakan kami telah beriman sedangkan mereka belum diuji. Man, once I just read this ayah, I was like bullseye, bullseye straight to my heart when I feel that astaghfirullahaladzim, why I torture myself for the last 2 days, you know, because I try to remember that what I try to relate with this ayah is that my first niat when I went to join the trip is that I want to contribute to my team members. I want to help them. I just want to make other people easy in that trip. So there, that's what I get. So, but when I was given with the things what I asked for, I'm so underestimate myself by letting myself to immerse with all this bad feeling that bring me down. Kind of what uji, and so actually, when I try to put that all together, then Alhamdulillah, I realized that by having a team member that overestimated myself, actually they allow me to push myself further that I was once underestimated. So yeah, you need to believe me because sometimes you need to have other people to tell you what actually you are made of. And the second event of where I started questioning my faith why is during at Mount Rinjani trip, this is in Indonesia, where this is giving me a significant feeling of failure and really a mental breakdown. Where at that time it was at 2 a.m. in Indonesian time, where we prepare ourselves for the summit attack. And it was at the starting at the altitude of about 6 times of the LPT tower when you're stacking together. Then we moved to the summit. So the track that we took at that time for the summit attack is through the cratering. Okay, if you can see in this picture, you can see there is a circle of the rim of the volcano. Okay, so that's the pathway, that's the track that we took for the summit attack. And the surface, I told you, it is dry, it is powdery, it's slippery, and with small rocks. So when you move on this track, you may found yourself that actually when you took 2 steps forward, you are 1 step back. So it is very exhausting and it's something that I never experienced before. Well, after I shuffling for about 2/3 of the distance, I felt extremely sleepy. When I feel this, I know that it's a signal of my body is actually tired. So at that time, I'm whining and I'm begging to my hiking buddy that I just begging to her, just allow me to sleep for a sec, because that's what all I need. But then I think she don't allow me or what. I can't remember because I'm mental breakdown at that time. So what I choose to do is just I just sit there and just do nothing. So that's why I think that my friend, she had the time to snap my picture of while I'm having a mental breakdown. So at this point, I start to try to, all the positive words, all the encouraging words given by my friend, it doesn't affect me at all. Like macam masuk telinga kanan, keluar telinga kiri, or maybe not even masuk ke telinga kanan, because I was just with myself. I just was in a breakdown moment. So I think this is how all of other ladies that they felt when I swept them. When I been a sweeper, I think I will go through you what is sweeper about after this. Because what happened is that after that I can't really remember, because I just can't remember. But I think my friend, she picked me up because I don't think that she's gonna leave me alone there. And what happened to me is that I tried to think about what happened, and I tried to put together that maybe this is how all people feel, and this is the feeling of failure, the really feeling of failure that I faced in my life, I guess. Then, okay, sorry, that's the thing that I want to explain. It's not that I want to menangkan myself. But when I try to put together, actually, I think at that moment what happened is that it's a combination of situations. The combination of situation is that when I felt extremely sleepy, it may be because of the low level of oxygen, because at the higher altitude, and then also because of the windy and the strong wind, with the cold temperature, all of this combined. And actually what makes it worse is that because that day I was on my second day of my menstrual. Okay, so now it's a combination of the mood swing and all the events which just caused it more dramatic. Really feeling a failure. Okay, so now I want to share to you what do I get. A husband. Yes, it's true. So what do I get throughout my journey climbing this 22 peak is I get a husband, because he's once a team member of just a normal Horizon team member, but then a fiance, and now my husband and a father of my son. And actually, it's a precious thing that I got, the most precious thing that I got, because um, I think that he is special. Because I remember that wise man said, if you kalau kamu tidak tahu akhlak sebenar seseorang, uh, pergilah bermusafirlah dengannya. I think something like that. Okay, so it's true because we are both connected while we are in this condition of paling busuk, paling comot, where I think my tudung is like herot berot and all the makcik punya tudung, and you can't see this other side if you are bumping into each other at mall or when you're in a working place. So during this situation, I really can see like how he reacts with the situation and how he tried to bring themselves and how he treats others. So by seeing all the values that I have, that I see from him, is I think that perhaps that's what brings us together until now, and inshallah until Jannah. I mean, and the second thing that I got is the opportunity. Okay, opportunity here is to become an important person, but not the VIP. Is an important person as playing the important part of role in the crew, because this is in Horizon, I'm mostly known as a role of sweeper, a lady sweeper. Okay. So when I was in having in this role, I learned and gained a lot. Where I learned to be patient, I learned to follow other people's pace while carrying a heavy workload. Sorry, not workload. Now I start to think about my work. I carry a heavy loading, you know, and at the same time also, what I found that being slow doesn't mean that you are weak. Because you know what I see in this girl, actually, when I sweat them, what I see is actually a person that really have a strong willpower, a person that battling themselves when the body say they can't, but the mental and when the body say I can't, but the mental say I got it. So they are really a strong lady. That's why I say being slow doesn't mean that you are weak. You are battling more than others. And the second thing is what I learned is that I able to embrace my fitra, which is mak-mak and kakak-kakak fitra type, which is I love to people to make people happy. You know, just a simple things, just bring an extra ration, just to give other people fruits, just offer them to eat. You know, because when you are when you are tired and you feel like you are dehydrated, having a fruit is really like even one slice is like wow, Alhamdulillah. So I really enjoy having that opportunity. You know, take care of them, and also it's actually learn I learned to prepare myself with knowledge and also to always prepare with materials and extra things. For example, because when you're being a sweeper, you must um, you must prepare yourself with extra ration and some extra equipment, just as simple as for the survival things like the stove, methane, ground shape. If there's something happen, if that it's just in case. And also first aid. Yeah, first aid is very important. So I always have my first aid with me in any trip that I went. Hmm. So that's about opportunity. Now the third thing that what I got is what the view created by Allah. So here is what I share to you some of the views that yeah, the one that I boleh tengok live depan mata, bukan daripada Google picture. Okay, this is all my the private picture, not from Google. So you know, you can. Do you remember the first picture that I showed you before? You know, the first picture, the one that I'm so tiny. Okay, that my late dad snapped for me. Okay, so when I try to reflect back, actually, I guess what my dad is trying to capture here is actually the beauty of the scenery, a rare formation of rock. I mean, he tries to capture the power of Allah. So it is mesmerizing views that only for those who are walk extra mile, for those who are really um, do something extra thing. This person only can have this mesmerizing view. That's something that you need to work on it. So I feel that this is worth to mention because the view created by Allah is something not all these ordinary lenses may capture. And the last thing that I think is worth to mention here is beyond ukhuwah or beyond friendship. Because this is the beyond ukhuwah and beyond friendship by my hiking friends. Okay. It is a support system that is always there, is always available, where I can always turn to whenever I need it because I know they will be there with me. Because I still remember when I've been in the lowest position in my life, is where the strongest person in my family, who is my father, he just suddenly become vegetative, which is vegetative. This means that someone that have no response and no sign of awareness, he just being bedridden. He's awake, but he just shows no sign of awareness. Seeing him being bedridden is really a lowest point in my life. So I can't imagine if God doesn't reward me with the husband, with a chance to become stronger, cycle through all the challenges, and something that beyond upah. I really can't imagine where I am right now if I don't have all this in my life. So where I am at now. Okay, as you can see picture. Yeah, now I'm working from home and basically just dealing with my laptop. But at the same time, if uh, I feel like if I want to pursue my passion and just still continuing doing the things that I love, that's why me and my husband, we need to influence my son. So yeah, so he needs to be involved in this as well. That is why we start to bring him together for hiking. I can't really remember how old is he in this picture. The first picture I think is about 6 months or 5 months, about that around that age. But we just went to hill. It's just a hill, not a mountain. Okay, and he's now bigger. He's now 2 years old, and I'm really happy that I can share all of this moment with him. The thing that he also enjoying the nature, he's enjoying being in doing some adventurous things. It is something that also I feel that I actually try to continue all the flashback moment that I have with my late dad. That's why I'm really thankful for. So now we go to the last session of the sharing. Yay! Thank you. You are here until the end, where this is all the take-home message that I want to give to you. Okay, so the take-home message that I want to give is that if you a leader of in an organization, or if even you are a leader of yourself, I want you to do something that gives you a joyful feeling. Because just do something that you love. Because once you already know and identify what is something that you like and something that you think worth to invest for, you can start to choose or even create your own platform that highlighting the uniqueness, the uniqueness of yourself, what the unique value that you can bring. And please, if you want to stay in that, the things that you love to do, please have your own version of big why. Because if you're stuck, if you don't have your big why, I don't know how long you will stay in that. And if you're stuck to questioning your big why, it's okay. Just take a break. Just stop doing that. Maybe you can try to find something new and just resume anytime once you're ready. And then once you get what you want, don't forget to appreciate your support system. Well, so I guess the home message that I want to give it to you. So with that, I want to thank you so much for staying in this sharing session. So I think I pass it to Diana.
Okay, Aka. Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for sharing, your journey and your, how do you call it, how you go through all those challenges, climbing mountains, and the big whys and what you got out of them, and then you've identified things. I think sometimes when we put ourselves in those situations, it makes us realize that actually we can handle more than what we think we can.
True.
So I think that's one of the key points that I've taken from your talk as well. Tapi I guess in becoming a female, doing all of these challenges activities, do you find that some people like view you as somebody who tak ladylike ke, ataupun tak, orang kata apa, tak macam kasar lah, macam tomboy ke, sort of thing, those gender stereotyping things that mungkin lah, the younger generation sekarang tak rasa. Tapi I guess when we were growing up, we do face those sort of challenges kan, and how do I say, how do we deal with this sort of mindset, and then how do we say, hey, look, it's okay, actually, it doesn't really define you or anything.
For me, I'm thankful I'm not really facing all that gender stereotype things, because I think I'm known as a pink ninja among our friends. I usually my dress code is a pink color. So, but I think personally, sometimes maybe doesn't mean that, but sometimes I always feel that they're not really treating me as a lady.
Okay.
Where that's the things about the overestimated thing, where I found that they always treat me like a guy.
Okay.
So I don't know whether maybe I'm showing something that I think maybe it's a good thing that they trust me, that they know that I can do something which is big. But so that's why I feel so blessed when I know my husband, because he is the only guy that treating me as a lady. And I'm happy that I have someone that I can turn to and just show my weakness. So alhamdulillah, there's no not really a gender stereotype. But for people out there, if you really want to join, I don't think that you need to be afraid of that, because now I think we are now all people equally. If you do something good, then that's the things that we saw. It's not really like who you are.
Okay, so orang kata kan macam metaphor of life, if you've been climbing mountains, you sort of climb through challenges in your life as well. And I think I just want to highlight the fact that you are, a CEO in yourself, in your own entrepreneurial business, Act for Health. How do you, I'm pretty sure we only see the good things, right? We don't see the behind the scenes of the crying, the struggle, the stress. How do you find yourself, using all of that, orang kata apa, the difficulties that you've used to go through climbing mountains, the resilience that you got from that experience, do you apply it in your own life, and that's how you become a CEO of your own company? Do you mind sharing, a bit of that?
I think there's some misunderstanding, but it's okay. Sometimes when people see you as the CEO, they think that you have your own company, but actually I'm employed as a CEO. It's not my own company.
I see.
Okay, but I think I can just try to relate that things a little bit, because to be true and honest, that this is the highest position that I've been throughout my entire life. I never think of I become a CEO. So when I joined this position, when I received the responsibility, I found that, man, I think is more difficult than climbing a mountain.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I think because of the challenges and because of the mental breakdowns and everything, that I think I've been through worse before. So that's what keeps me heads up. And I feel, like I said, if anything, we always need to prepare. So that's why what I can do is that if I want to survive with this position, I just learn. We need to learn, because there's nothing is powerful than knowledge.
I agree. And I think, our audiences, when you were having your talk, they actually have a few questions. So I don't know whether you can see the chat bar on the side.
Okay.
The one that are marked in the red is actually questions from the audiences. So if you want to go and look at them. So I think the first question, I think we have from Amira Azlan, as you were sharing your own story climbing the Gunung Tahan. I think Amira Azlan is asking, why were you angry after succeeding the climb that Gunung Tahan? Do you want to share a bit more about that encounter?
Which one, yeah? Like why I feel angry after I succeed climb Mount Tahan? Is that the question?
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah, I feel angry. Oh, okay. I hope the person is not one of the participants today. Oh no, no. Okay. It's not a bad thing, but like I said, because they trusted me with big responsible, and that things happen. It's a multiple event that happened during the trip that um that actually I need to step up. So even though I underestimate myself, but I know I need to step up because nobody there to help. I feel angry because I have the expectation that when we just check out from the Mount Tahan punya forest, because when once you finish your trip, you need to declare that you already keluar from that apa perhutanan. So
Mm.
I thought at that moment, usually a normal trip that all your loading or your bag will be transported by van or by usually by van lah. But at
Mm.
that time, I found that when I expect that I can now release all my heavy loading, but actually I need to walk extra mile by carrying still that heavy loading. So I think that's what caused me to be angry at that time. And I don't know, I'm never really angry to anyone before. I'm not angry really to the person, but I just angry with the situation.
Mm. Mm. And I think, kalau dalam kehidupan pun sometimes, things happen unexpectedly. I think it macam, oh okay, so actually sebenarnya I don't really have that much level of patience.
Uh, Itulah, like sebenarnya, ya Allah. Hmm,
Hmm.
so
So
yeah, I feel angry.
okay, so thank you for sharing for that. And then I think the next question is that we have from Kak Alia. Kak Alia asked, would you like your children to follow you in the same passion?
Yes,
Like for your kid
if
to,
if that is yes, if that is his passion, I think we as the parents now we just try to show him an option. But for sure, option is all what actually me and my husband interest because that's what we are afford to I mean expose him to. So if he wants to do the same things that I do, or even beyond that, and if as long as he can have to bring manfaat or have a win-win situation to him as well, then why not?
okay, yep, good advice. Um, and I think the next question is from brother Amar Masuri. I think he asked, what is your greatest fear?
Okay. Can I say that he is my husband? Okay. I think okay. My greatest fear is like I said just now. I think I shared you. That I really fear of water. I feel very anxious and it can cause me anxiety when I saw a big amount of water, especially like lake or anything. Because I don't know, maybe there's some funny side that I always imagine that something will emerge from from that water. You know, some scary monster. But it's true. That is all the things that I always imagine of. But but I think it's a very good achievement, even though I really fear of water. By having all the good support and a good trust by my team member, especially during the Mount Tahan trip, I
Mm.
managed to cross a lot of river. Which is, I still remember the last river that we passed, that we crossed. I can sing along because it's just about at the level of my knee. So that's why I think I can sing during cross that river.
Do you think it's more a matter of like mind over matter sort of principle when you were crossing the river?
I don't know because I still don't have a solution for that, and I also don't know what the answer. But I think how I can manage to fight my fears at that time, especially water, because I try to distract my feeling, and the most important thing is that I put a trust to people who I hold on. So
Mm.
I think the basic trust here is play an important role for you to fight any of your fears and just don't afraid to ask for help. So that's what
Mm.
I do at that time. I really need help.
And I think that's true. And I think in any situation in life, when you encounter your own fear, if you know, calm yourself, get some help, but no matter what the situation is, you get through. And that's actually quite quite wise lah, a wise way of thinking about it. Thank you for sharing that. Saja je main ni your husband tanya.
But I think it's good that he bring it up, because I think a lot of people out there who are outdoorian but still they're actually afraid of height, that they afraid of pacat, and a lot of fears when you do all this adventurous thing. But it's you yourself to choose whether you want to go through it and have something that you love.
True, betul. Okay, and then we have another question, and I think the last two question is from the, if I'm not mistaken, Amira Azlan and Kak Alia Azlan is sisters. So the next question is from Kak Alia. What is your number one advice for people who want to use their passion or interest as a platform to do good deeds or influence people positively?
So again, I think I always repeat this thing, which is you need to think your big why. Because like I mentioned before, the big why is the strongest reason for you to stay in no matter what you do, it just apply everything. Just have and I think we as a that it is a good thing if you really can have a win-win situation. So yeah, I think that's my first advice.
All right, so always having the big picture, the big why, and I think having the end goal in mind pun is important kan, Kak Nina?
Yeah.
Okay, and the last question is from Amira Azlan. Just a bit of, if anyone else wants to ask any more questions, feel free to chat. Otherwise, this will be our last questions for today. How do you keep yourself a soft person after you have went through such harsh situations repeatedly? Because Kak Amira Azlan says that this adventure requires you to have a resilient character.
Well, how I keep myself to be soft. But I think that's not really a question like how, but it is I think it's free for you to be any of your just to bring out your own character, because if you are soft, I think no matter where you be, you will embrace it. That's why I said that I don't know whether I'm really a soft person or not, but it really embraced myself, my inner side, that the kakak and the mak things that I want to take care of my other team members. So I don't know how to answer this question actually, but like I said, it's not really a question like how. It depends on how do you bring yourself doing that things that you like.
So basically, how do you persist doing things that you like and then going through the challenges lah? I guess it comes back to the big why and the big goal.
Yeah, because I don't really think that all of these challenges and all the hurdles that I go through cause to affect my attitude or how the way I view myself. It's just, I think the way that really influenced me is the confidence. It's really a confidence level that gives me when I dealing with people. Because when you're being in nature, you are really a true side of people. Like it's not like they cover. So if they are stressed and if they're emotional, then you have to deal with that. You really have to be how to say, you just have to deal with all of these different characters in the situation that is not comfortable, or like the situation will give you a stressful moment. So that's what gives me a big confidence when I'm dealing with my real life.
Okay. All right. So I think, for the audiences out there, If you've never, if you're like me, not really a big fan of hiking or climbing mountains or doing all this outdoorsy stuff, maybe, today you are inspired by Kak Lina to start trying. Mungkin boleh, just go outside in the park nearby and go from there.
Sure. Just start small.
You start small and then go big.
Yeah.
And then, if anything, one big message that we keep repeating is always know the big why, because the big why will always take you far. Jazakillah khair, Kak Nina. Do you have any final words today or any final advice for all of us here?
I think I said already. But yeah, I think. But what I think is the thing that I really that I think is worth to mention is that now as an outdoorian, but now we are in a pandemic. Like you're unable to really.
It's true.
Not really do things that you love. Somewhat it kind of depressive as well. So, but I think the good things that you can do is that try to create a good atmosphere, maybe even in your home, because like in my home I have we hang 2 hammocks so that we can still feel like a feeling of swinging in the nature, and then we have we mounted the wall climbing pad at our home as well. So just keep being positive during this pandemic. You can bring all the outdoor experience in your indoor. I think that's the last message.
All right. Thank you so much, Kak Ina. I think that is actually quite a good advice. Bring the outdoorian in. Yeah, because lupa pula tengah pandemic ni. Ya Allah.
Betul.
Anyway, all right. So Alhamdulillah, insyaAllah, we conclude our final thought for this creative leadership series. Inshallah, if there is rezeki in the future, maybe we'll come up with more creative leadership series with other themes. And then I would just like to end on a positive note with a special thanks to all of our affiliates. One of them is Coffee Center, Pemuda GEMA, which Kak Nina belongs to, the MDA production team, as well as NSW Maska team. Wah, we are rewarded by the. Siapa nama Kak Nina? What's the name?
Arif Duha.
Arif Duha, so cute.
Dia tengah masak lagi, dia tak mandi. Tak ada diri bagi sharing.
Radio. Okay guys, so if there's nothing else, have a good day, have a great evening here in Australia, and have a good evening here in Malaysia. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye.
Bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.